over the weekend in the event of power outages. Plus, with those cold conditions continuing into next week, we hear from AAA on the items you should keep in your car to protect yourself and others while on the road.
Live on your side, First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
And a lot to talk about, Tania, right now on Weather Extra.
Oh yeah, there's so much to talk about. Everyone wants to know, what does that weekend forecast look like? Take it away, Wes.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. This is what we know today, that we're feeling really good about the forecast of more rain for most spots Saturday and Sunday, but there will be some icy concerns for areas northwest and northeast. Now, we'll take it one day at a time here, starting with Saturday. First off, notice there is a winter weather advisory now that does include Walker, Fayette, Lamar, Marion, Winston, and Coleman counties. There's a concern that there will be a window of some hours Saturday morning where we could start to see some freezing rain form. Could be some tricky, dangerous travel there in some spots. We'll need to watch Saturday morning. And then the concerns for ice more significant further north you go. You get up into Franklin and Colbert counties, we're under ice storm warnings. Most of northern Alabama you can see in that winter weather advisory. Now, East Alabama, we're still under a winter storm watch because we're still trying to figure out if indeed we will see the possibility of some freezing rain that could return Saturday night and Sunday morning. So let's take Saturday here and show you what the models have as far as freezing rain accumulations, and just know you can see it's sort of borderline for some of these areas here. It's not the kind of ice that we're talking about is going to have us iced in all weekend. There just might be some dangerous and some tricky trouble spots there early Saturday morning, but this should eventually change over to rain the way I'm seeing it. And now East Alabama, we go to Saturday night. We start out, we've got some rain, and really a lot of the wet weather may not cross I-65 and get into East Alabama until late Saturday night. But then that's when we could start to see some freezing rain set up here close to the state line over towards Cleburne County. That's why the National Weather Service has this area in a winter storm watch. We got to watch out for that. And listen, the mountaintops, Straight Mountain, Lookout Mountain, places like that, those higher elevations, got to watch out for some icy weather there too. Mount Chehaw, some of the areas there high above. But the impacts of this system, this is a look at where the greatest snow impacts are expected. And you can see that this is a big story. I know it's been a big story for us trying to figure out this forecast all week, but you can just see here for interest outside of our area just to show you how far reaching this is. This will go from the southwest all the way to the east coast as far as impacts for us. That threat for some ice you can see back off to the north and west, so those impacts a bit more limited. But the other story is the rain coming up, and you can see there's plenty of liquid precipitation with this, and that's why at one point, you know, we were talking about the possibility of ice with this kind of rain falling. Yeah, it would have been a mess. And 4 inches of rain around Jasper possible in some of those locations as projected. So we're going to have plenty of rain coming up this weekend. But that said, there will be also some moisture left over, and we need to watch those temperatures Monday morning as we take the tumble down into the teens. There might be some patchy black ice issues in a couple of areas early Monday, but the freeze is going to be here to stay for a lot of us next week. I mean, Monday we stay below freezing all day, and then we have lows in the teens, even some single digits. Tuesday during the day will rise above freezing, but not for long. It looks like we'll have lows down into the teens, and then we get to Wednesday, 24 degrees for a low temperature. There's a chance we could see a wintry mix, and then a possibility of another big drop in temperatures behind that. So a lot that we are tracking, Tania, as we move into next week. Certainly looks like once this cold weather gets here, it is here to stay.
Oh yeah, Wes, and Governor Kay Ivey declaring a state of an emergency today as this storm system prepares to move across the state. It covers 19 counties in Alabama, including counties in central Alabama like Blount, Cherokee, Etowah, and Fayette counties. And this comes as Alabama Power is gearing up to deploy 2,000 extra crews to help deal with expected power outages from this weekend's winter storm. Alabama Power officials say ice storms create unique challenges for their crews. Trucks are outfitted with tire chains to help with travel, while crews wear insulated gear for warmth and ice packs on their boots for stability. If power goes out, crews will first restore service in areas that impact the largest numbers of people, and they also prioritize the hospitals, communication towers, and water stations. Storm Center Operations Manager Corey Sweetnit says ice can be a challenge for his crews as well.
You know, being able to get to where the damage is at to make the repair, and then once you arrive at the location, ice on the ground, being able to walk back and forth and make the repairs. Also trees, you know, ice when it comes in and gets on the trees and the tree limbs start to sag in, you know, it's a dangerous situation. The limbs could break out.
And you can track power outages on Alabama Power's website. Experts also saying this is a good time to make sure your car is prepared in case of a breakdown on the road. AAA spokesperson Clay Ingram says reflectors are critical. Placing them behind your car helps other drivers see you at night. You should also have a flashlight available.
Number one rule is don't get out in it if you don't have to, but if you have to, you never know what's around the corner, literally. And if you hit an icy patch, you can lose control of the vehicle. You could leave the road. You could be stuck on the side of the road or in a ditch somewhere. And you know, in this situation, it may be difficult for help to get to you as well.
And if you're stranded, staying warm and safe is key. Ingram says he also recommends packing snacks and, of course, bottled water. In the event of power outages at your home over the weekend, your reporter Brady Talbert spoke with experts on how you should store your food.
Is that fun?
The joys of parenthood. That's something the Marvin family is still learning about, raising Scotty, who is almost 1 year old. But as a winter storm moves closer, they are learning parenthood also comes with new concerns.
As a new parent, you're really not just concerned about you and your spouse, but you're also thinking about the dangers of travel and, you know, if we needed some assistance with childcare, how are we going to feed that day? How are we going to store formula?
Especially if the power goes out and the refrigerator can't stay cold.
You know, formula does have a lifespan, so we had to make sure that, you know, if we were going to be without power or something like that, we had a contingency plan for storing breast milk or formula or whatever we would need.
It's an issue that could affect us all, not just new parents. What to do with all that food in your fridge if the power goes out, and what to do if you don't have a generator.
If the temperature is low enough, once you're looking under 40 degrees, then you can simply put a lot of that food outside and let nature do its work. If not, then I would consider going and getting coolers right now, filling those coolers with ice.
Annette Rowland with the Red Cross of Alabama says you can also buy dry ice at the grocery store, which can stay cool longer. She says there is an easy way to know if food products in your freezer have gone bad. Just put a coin on top of a frozen cup of ice.
You open that freezer and you see that the penny has dropped to the bottom. That's a good indicator that everything has melted and has now refrozen. And there's a lot of foods that's not something that you want to try to eat.
Right now, the Red Cross urges you to stock up on shelf-stable food and have your supplies at the ready.
That way we could store all of the baby's food in the cooler. There's just a lot more factors with being a new parent than there were before.
In 30 seconds, we continue to track those weekend conditions and tell you how emergency management officials are getting ready for winter weather.
All right, welcome back in. This time last night we had quite a bit of rain. Our weather watchers were checking in with a little over ½ inch in a lot of locations last night. So it was a slow and steady rain. The rain's not as widespread right now. We're still seeing a few of these showers down into Clay County. And I think for the rest of tonight, this is mostly what we're going to be looking at. It's just very isolated shower activity. Still cold, still kind of damp, and the temperatures will be above freezing. So we're not worried about any ice for tonight. But some of this shower development could come back around tomorrow morning. So check in with us on good day. Maybe a little bit of rain when you hit the road early in the day. You'll still want that jacket because it stays chilly throughout the day tomorrow. Tomorrow night, early Saturday, we might start to see again some of that freezing rain development happening overnight and in the early morning. We'll be watching it. We'll be here Saturday morning keeping an eye on those northwest areas. But a lot of rain coming up this weekend. A big story we're talking about right now, the temperatures. And as we go to meteorologist Michelle Tania, we're looking at some of the guidance they're coming up for next week. And I was really concerned about Monday morning. morning, we could see some single digits and teens, and it looks like with any residual moisture, that's going to freeze. So hopefully we have a window where a lot of that moisture can evaporate. Of course, we've been having a lot of discussions here at the station. You know, we plan as well and watching those road conditions. So it's important as we take this one day at a time. Confidence is greatest for Saturday, for Sunday, but we still need to watch Sunday night into Monday morning to see how that plays out.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree, and that's why we have declared First Alert Weather Day starting Saturday early morning through Wednesday. But I do want to show you what those wind chills looks like, because early Monday morning, not only is it going to be cold, but it's going to feel cold to you. This is a quick look at wind chill by the time many of you are getting up Monday morning, but just take a look at some of these models and how cold it could feel at certain points throughout those morning hours. Let's walk through it together here, and I have our forecast wind chill graphic that I'm going to pull up, and you'll be able to see that early Monday morning is when it's going to feel easily like the single digits, especially to our far northern counties. Did I put my pause points on this graphic? Oh my gosh, hold on guys, I'm trying to get this graphic to load for us here. There you go, perfect. All right, here we go. Monday morning low temperature, 17 there in Birmingham, 11 in Marion County, 14 in Coleman County. But those are actual temperatures. It could easily feel like the single and low digits outside. So please, you will definitely want to make sure that you're not only preparing yourself, but your home. Continue to winterize it. Think about how you can insulate those pipes. This is a look at feels like temperatures when Monday morning. Wind chill, -2 in Marion County, 3 in Pell City, 6 in Bibb. It is going to be so cold. We'll talk more about the cold that could last through at least middle of next week. More right here on First Alert Weather Extra. Emergency management officials across the northern part of the state are preparing now to keep you safe. Your reporter, Brian Henry, spoke to leaders in Hamilton as they checked equipment and other tools.
The time is approaching for the weather to do something, and Hamilton firefighters say they are ready. Chainsaws checked. The so-called jaws of life, it's in working order too. Hamilton Fire and Rescue Assistant Fire Chief Matt McCracken.
The weather forecast is actually trending in our favor, if you will.
Trending in Hamilton's favor in the sense they don't necessarily expect an ice storm per se. Maybe a tenth of an inch, according to McCracken. It's the Sunday night going into Monday morning that worries local leaders.
One of the things that we're really having to watch right now is the possibility of a flash freeze Sunday night into Monday, because the temperatures are going to be in the single digits.
A plunge that will come after what could be a rainy weekend.
The amount and the type of...
Marion County EMA Chief Russ Taylor says, even though the overall forecast may be better right now, this is no time to let your guard down.
The frigid temps Sunday and Monday night, anything that is not evaporated, regardless of the type of precipitation, but any kind of moisture on the ground is going to, the temperatures Sunday and Monday night are going to make that difficult.
Especially when you consider Marion County has thousands of miles worth of roads, state routes, and an interstate. The county has a population of more than 30,000.
We fully expect to be dealing with something as far as winter weather goes sometime this weekend.
Locked in, prepared, and ready for impact for whatever happens in Marion County.
Okay, a lot of clouds across the area right now. Not a lot of rain out there at the moment, so if you're about to hit the road, run some errands, it's just chilly, mostly cloudy. There might be a couple of showers through tomorrow. We'll take it day by day. Let's start with Friday, high of 50 degrees, and one of the warmest days that we're about to see for quite a while. I think the weekend will get close to 50, but there's 7 o'clock in the morning, so maybe a couple of showers when you hit the road early in the day. And the rest of the day, it's not an overwhelming chance of rain, maybe even a couple of breaks in the clouds, a little bit of sun coming back. You can actually see a rainbow from here on Red Mountain today. We saw a little bit of sunshine today, but those clouds come back again, maybe a couple showers there through the early morning hours. So we get to Friday night. If you have plans tomorrow evening, maybe have some dinner reservations, everything looks fine tomorrow during the evening hours. I mean, this will not be a problem tomorrow, but we get to Saturday morning. If you had early morning plans, there may be some disruptions for the first part of the day for areas far northwest. The rest of us, it's just a lot of rain that could start to happen. And even for parts of the area, we may not see a lot of rain Saturday morning. Again, these impacts Saturday, let me show you this. They'll be more limited to locations to the far northwest. Now, we did, because of that possibility of a wintry mix, as you can see there, 6 a.m. Saturday, we did carry over that first alert weather day. But as we go through the rest of Saturday, notice not a lot of rain if you go south to where that wintry mix is happening. So there might actually end up being some decent breaks during the day Saturday. You get south towards Birmingham, Anniston, not a bad day at all, but temperatures are going to be on the cold side. But then what happens is these northern areas, eventually that could change back over to rain. We expect that to happen. You see right there, this is the IBM model. Most of the data keeps us way north and west. But then Saturday night, as the rain starts to pick up, and we'll see that rain really come around by the evening into the overnight, we've got to watch East Alabama for the possibility that freezing line is going to be over into Georgia. It may set up right in this area here near Cherokee and Cleburne counties, maybe over towards Duggar Mountain and those locations. So we got to watch that closely. And even the higher elevations here for some icing overnight Saturday night and into early Sunday morning. Will that last all day Sunday? Eventually that looks like it could change over to rain. But let's go back to Sunday, and you can see the early morning hours. We had that freezing rain, but see how it starts to change back over. And also notice the heavier pockets of rain really start to impact the area Sunday. And there could be a 3-4+ inches of rain for some of us. Yeah, another big-time rainmaker is really going to work on that drought as that moves through during the day. But notice most of the ice on Sunday, as far as we're concerned, in northwest Alabama. It looks like over to Mississippi, and where we have that ice storm warning, maybe parts of Lauderdale County impacted. So after that, the big story is the cold, and you can see those temperatures take the big tumble down into the teens early Monday morning. Single-digit wind chills. We stay below freezing all day Monday. Dry on Tuesday, still very cold. And got to watch Wednesday. With all this cold air around, we have another disturbance that could squeeze out maybe some wintry precipitation. And I'm just giving you the first alert. That's a day I'm watching. I always say when we have these extended cold patterns with Arctic air, sometimes these systems can be sneaky. So we need to keep an eye on this Wednesday for the possibility of maybe some wintry precipitation. But that's another front, another surge of cold air. So we really don't have a chance to warm up. Another big drop in temperatures as we go to next Thursday and towards the end of the week. You can see those temperatures in the 30s. And there's been a lot of talk about the final weekend of the month, another system that could generate some wintry precipitation. It's just way too soon, as we've learned this week. These models and these forecasts, when you get beyond the next 7 days, can change quite a bit. So we'll just take it one day at a time here, and certainly stay out ahead of it and keep you well informed right here and on the First Alert Weather app. But as you keep your family warm over the coming days, Mandy Gaither goes over how you can reduce the risk of carbon monoxide exposure as the temperatures continue to tumble.
Every year in the U.S., unintentional carbon monoxide poisoning sends more than 100,000 people to the emergency room, hospitalizes more than 14,000 patients, and kills more than 400 people.
A lot of the symptoms of the early start to carbon monoxide exposure can mimic some of the cold and flu-like symptoms.
Dr. Jason Milk with Cleveland Clinic says that adds to the challenge of identifying when carbon monoxide is making a person sick. The most common symptoms of poisoning are headache, dizziness, weakness, upset stomach, vomiting, chest pain, and confusion.
The emergency departments have ability of how to measure your carbon monoxide levels. And the antidote for carbon monoxide exposure is eliminating the source, meaning getting away from the risk, and then oxygen is the therapy.
Reduce risk of exposure by using a carbon monoxide detector that will alert when there's a danger. The CDC also says to never use a generator inside your home or garage, even if doors and windows are open. Only use them outside, more than 20 feet away from windows, doors, and vents, and never heat your home with a gas oven. Don't run your vehicle inside a garage that's attached to a house, even when the garage door is open. For a detached garage, open the door to let in fresh air when running a car.
If you have multiple family members, everyone in the home has all the same symptoms. It may be that carbon monoxide is the common denominator as to why everyone doesn't feel good.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, let's go beyond that 10-day forecast. I know that your eyes are on this weekend, but beyond it, we are still tracking some really cold conditions. And this could extend for several days past next week with some freezing conditions for the early mornings and temperatures in the afternoon still being really cold. Temperature outlook from the CPC, the Climate Prediction Center, really showing that the above average conditions will stay far west across the United States, but most of the East Coast, including us here across the Southeast, will be dealing with below average temperatures for the end of the month of January and to kick off the month of February. Let's walk through that 10-day forecast and really taking you beyond the 10-day. And you can just see this is one model showing that surge of cold air really impacting our area by January the 30th, closing out the month. And these are temperatures. Now, do I think it's going to get that low? Probably not, but this is one model that is suggesting some areas, even in the Carolinas, like Charlotte, North Carolina, could reach around 1 degree. And that's not a wind chill, that's an actual temperature. But these are just suggestions from one model, still several days out. But this shows us February the 1st, 29 degrees for the early morning hours, with temperatures probably not recovering until February the 2nd, where highs could possibly reach low 40s at that point. But hey, I mean, it looks cold no matter what. So this is the best time to start preparing your home for the winter type weather. And we are certainly watching middle of next week because some models are trying to hint at some snow trying to peek out. So we need to keep a close eye on it, and we certainly will. We'll have more right here on First Weather Extra coming up after the break.
All right, just what we needed today, Tania. We've been looking at weather models, and we saw some lovely photos, and always good to look up, right?
Oh, yeah, always good to look up. This one was sent in by Gage McDaniel, a sunrise over the lake. Look at those colors.
Yeah, check this out. A sundog is what this is called, optical phenomena, and that was sent in from Kaylee Dines all the way in Mayville, Wisconsin. How cool is that?
And at last, but not certainly not least, a sunrise from the skies. This was submitted by Brent. He traveled 17,000 feet over Birmingham. How cool.
That is very cool. And the icing on the cake, we got a rainbow today. And it was nice to see that here on Red Mountain. It was actually a little bit of sunshine.
It really was.
Yeah.
I think we'll see some breaks in the clouds late tomorrow afternoon, early evening.
Yeah, watching for all those impacts across the state on Saturday. We'll have more on that. Big time cold coming next week.
Oh, yeah. Get updates tonight at 9 and 10.